Hi, group. So this week in the world of field instruction, I did intensive in-home, a couple of those. We did outpatient therapy with some adult clients and one teenage client. I want to focus my video this week on my experience with intensive in-home. The situation was like this 13-year-old girl having multiple behavior issues, not following the rules in the home, being disrespectful, leaving the home without permission, no issues in school, which I thought that was interesting. She had been placed on medication the week before. So some monitoring of how her behaviors and mood and things were changing since she had been on new medications for the first time. While I was there, I did learn that she also had been smoking marijuana in conjunction with taking her medicine. But prior to going, the counselor wasn't aware of that. So that's not information that we went in with. So I was looking at, I want to say maybe Sam's video about safety contracting. And I was like, wow, I had a conversation about that too this week. Mine went a little differently, however. So the daughter had apparently taken a cell phone, the 13-year-old. She had taken a cell phone, or they thought that she had taken a cell phone. This is something that she had done before. She has a history of taking things from her parents and also some history of shoplifting. So it was a really big deal, sore spot for the family. So when that came down, dad in the home gave a pretty clear directive. I need the phone back by 4 o'clock. If the phone is not back by 4 o'clock, and he just kept saying, we're going to call the people. And I wasn't sure what that meant, but the counselor that I was with seemed to understand, and there was a lot of moving pieces at the time. So I said, well, I'll wait and ask my questions later. So he just kept saying it over and over and over again as that story progressed. Come to find out, the counselor and myself talked to the girl for a little while, the teenager, got some information, got to figure out how her day was, what was going on with her, and then just made a simple suggestion of, well, if you're saying that you don't have this phone and the situation keeps escalating because they think that you do, let's just go look for it. Maybe it's lost. That was the route that the counselor took. So I said, okay. The phone was found, and the girl was, and the child found the phone. And the dad was convinced that she had placed it there at some point in them looking, and it wasn't just a situation where the phone got stuck in the couch and people didn't notice it. So we're moving forward. He is convinced that she took it. He went so far as to say that the phone smelled like her, so he knew that she had had it. Lots of conversation about calling the people. So then, this is my question. This is what I'm bringing to the group today. Would you have asked what that meant in the midst of everything going on or not? I wish that I had, because what he was referring to was calling the hospital. And we know that there's a certain criteria. You have to be a danger to yourself or someone else in order for you to even start to walk that path. So I was kind of kicking myself a little bit to say, that's a conversation that needs to be had. That's a conversation that he needs to have with someone to understand that that's not how that works. That's not helpful to the child to have that kind of hanging over her head all the time. And it actually doesn't even work that way. And it didn't seem like he had an understanding of what the hospital was for, what type of criteria would be needed for her to be placed. Now there are, some therapeutic foster homes and other options that could have been available had the behaviors escalated, but it seemed that he was at the point where maybe he needed some healthier coping skills. He needed to be addressed directly, and the counselor that I was shadowing did not address that. Would you all have addressed that with the dad being, the intern that's coming in, watching and seeing this thing? Would you have, I don't know, pull the counselor to the side? Would you have went to your field instructor? Like, how would you all have handled that? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, had I addressed it as soon as I got there, all of the things that happened for the next 20 minutes probably wouldn't have happened. The girl ended up getting so upset that she started breaking things in the house, and she ran out of the house, and we couldn't find her for a little while. So it just escalated, and got out of control, and it made me kind of question my actions. But again, I'm operating in the space of I am shadowing someone else. This is someone else's experience, but I do have experience in the field doing this particular thing. So where do I fit? How do I maintain the safety of myself and those around me? How much do I push? How much did I pull back? It was just kind of a, I don't know, type of situation for me. And I wish that I had found a way to say it without overstepping my boundaries, but also probably could have saved a lot of grief for the family. And I still think that dad needs to be educated about what all the hospital calls are for. The little girl apparently had been in the hospital before suicidal ideations a couple of weeks prior. So now at that point, it seems that whenever there's something going on in the house, dad wants to walk that path, because honestly, it felt like he was able to get some maybe relief because she wasn't at home, or he felt like she was safer there than in the home with him and the mom. I don't know exactly what it was, but a part of intensive in home are family sessions, and I did not see that happen in that moment. Now, maybe there's some behind the scenes things that happen that I don't know about, but I don't know. So, what do you all think should have happened in that moment? Should there have been a conversation with them about what a safety contract is, even though I'm finding new information out that maybe that's not necessarily a thing anymore. But how far do you go as someone who is in field placement with what you know and the professionals that are there on staff and being employed in the situation? Sorry for going over, but thank you for listening.